Welcome, 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 welcome. Good morning, everyone, for another beautiful show that we're having today. And today we're going to be talking about rosacea. This is Dr. Nadia Chaudhry. Hope for all issues in the tissues. So, rosacea, it's a fascinating condition here. A lot of people suffer from it. In fact, about 14 million Americans currently suffer from rosacea. And actually, I happen to be one of them, interestingly enough. So we're going to talk about a couple of different scenarios here and why this is an important condition to treat and what the traditional modalities are for treatments and what we at Hope offer in terms of integrated approaches and long-term cures for this particular conditions. So what is rosacea? Well, rosacea is an inflammatory condition that typically affects the face, mainly the cheeks, the nose, and the chin are the main areas that are affected. There are multiple types of rosacea. The very first one is called erythemotelangiectatic rosacea. Now that's a long word, but we're going to. The way I look at that one is patients who basically have very super sensitive skins, and they have fine sandpaperish type skin and have very fine all over redness in their cheeks. And what's interesting about this condition is that it typically affects people between 30s to 50s and gets worse and progressive over time. Affects fair skinned patients far more than it does darker skinned patients, and is exacerbated by a variety of different conditions. Interestingly enough, a lot of people come to my practice, saying they have rosacea or have been diagnosed with rosacea, and oftentimes it's not rosacea. Rosacea is very clearly delineated in the sense that the skin tends to be like with erythemotelangiectatic rosacea, where it's just fine redness throughout your whole skin. The skin itself feels like sandpaper. When you go across it, it's very like fine sandpaper. It's very super dry, very sensitive to any kind of topicals. Oftentimes these people are so frustrated because they cannot handle any kind of over-the-counter products. Simple things like sun, drinking wine, changes in temperatures, whether it's too hot or too cold, tend to exacerbate this condition for them. If they're stressed out, that's certainly anxiety and stress. Lack of sleep certainly affects this condition tremendously. People have to be really careful in terms of triggers with this. You don't want to be in a hot sauna or, certainly not be doing things like some of my rosacea patients that I see do. That's popular is Bikram yoga, for example. Those kinds of extreme heats and sweating is going to make conditions worse. So you have to be careful with even exercise, that you're not overdoing it when you have rosacea, that you're keeping your skin cool. And oftentimes when people are exercising, I tell people to take things like Aven water, which is a spray that's specifically designed for sensitive skins that break out easily with extremes of sweating or heat. And it has thermal water and clinical ingredients that calm down rosacea symptoms. And a lot of our patients, will find that very helpful while they're exercising, so they don't overheat their skin and tissue. So anyway, so that's one type of rosacea. All right. The second type is called papulopustular rosacea, and this is a slightly different condition. I find these patients don't have as dry a skin as the first type of rosacea, and they tend to have small pustules on their cheeks, mainly again can happen on the nose and chin area. Now this can be easily confused with acne, and how we differentiate that is that these people do not have comedones in their skin, and that we have a visio in our practice that we have our patients do prior to any kind of treatment as part of our evaluation. And when you take a look at it, you can actually see that these patients have papules and pustules, but do not have any kind of comedones in their skin. So it's very easy to diagnose when you have something like a diagnostic system to assess the skin. The thing about papulopustular rosacea is that it again, the same thing, very sensitive skin, exacerbated by the same sort of conditions. I think in this aspect, foods are even more important. What you're doing nutritionally to support your skin can affect this condition tremendously. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So with papulopustular acne, a lot of times, when you take a look at their skin, they actually have Demodex mites in their skin, which is little bugs, basically, is the way you look at that. And it affects, it causes the inflammation and the pustules with it. So a lot of times, dermatologists will prescribe doxycycline, Oracea for this condition. Even topicals and antibiotics and things of that nature, and so these people have had a lot of different treatments over the process. The thing about any kind of antibiotic, however, is that it doesn't give you long term, and you can't be on it forever. It affects the body adversely. So yes, we do have those treatment modalities available, but in the way I practice medicine, and for me, cure is important. I tend not to prescribe antibiotics. I don't need to, with all the integrated processes and lasers that we have for curing these conditions. And we will be talking a bit more about rosacea when we get back, and we'll give you some new solutions as well.
In a world where bankers have lost all interest, where robots and fat cats rule our fortunes, one woman will stand up and strive to do the impossible. Be treated like a person. Friends and neighbors will join her quest. Ordinary people will band together against the forces of corporate greed. And together they will form Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, already in a neighborhood near you.
Imagine the finest hand-selected USDA prime steak you'll ever have. The freshest line-caught seafood, our Wine Spectator award-winning wine list, and soul-satisfying desserts. Bring that together with the perfect date, the winning business deal, a memorable family celebration. Welcome to Rod's Steak and Seafood Grill in nearby Morristown, New Jersey. Bring your appetite and feed your passion.
Your credit score is yours, and at Experian Credit Expert, we want to help you really use it. With access to helpful Experian experts over the phone and online, we can help you use it to get a better idea of what info the banks have on you. Use it to get more choice of mortgages. Use it to make your money go further. Take the next step to improving your financial future with your free 30-day trial at Experian.co.uk.
Here at Freppi's Tex-Mex, you can definitely taste the freshness in our food. You should definitely come to Freppi's because it's a great place. You can bring your family, very kid-friendly. All my servers are amazing, friendly people. Everyone here is just happy to serve, and I think it shows. The thing that sets us apart is the quality and freshness of our food. And I think once you try it, you'd be coming back. I'm Joe DeSario, co-owner of Freppi's Tex-Mex in Plainfield, New Jersey.
Hey there, everybody. This is Scott Tanker, host of Lunch with the Boss on RadioVisionNetwork.com. I want you to visit me each and every Thursday from 12:30 to 1 o'clock, where we have special guests talking about the dynamics between employees and employers. We talk about their business. We let our audience know, that's you folks, what these businesses are all about and how we can make the working environment better, while at the same time learning about local businesses here in the Delaware Valley. So, I'm host of Lunch with the Boss. My name is Scott Tanker. I want to see you here every Thursday from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. Be there or be square. Thanks a lot.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more. Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
So, welcome back here to Hope for Issues in the Tissues. So we're going to put up a picture here. The first one is on the condition that we talked about, erythemotelangiectatic rosacea, the fine sandpaperish rosacea, super dry skin, and very frustrating for patients when they walk in. They've been through a lot of different products, nothing helps their skin, and usually, unless they've had some sort of laser treatments, that it's just been progressive and it's been getting worse over time for them. So this particular condition here, you can see a lot of inflammation on the skin. There's a lot of vascularity as well, fine blood vessels throughout the whole cheek area, typically the nose as well, and the chin area. So what we typically do when patients first walk into the practice is actually get them on clinical skincare that really addresses the redness, the inflammation, the sensitivity. And I find within literally an hour of me applying, actually not even an hour, within like 10-15 minutes of applying the right products on their skin is able to breathe again. So what are some of the things that we do to help support, balance their skin, to rehydrate their skin? Because what's happened with these patients is the skin itself is not able to hold moisture, that there's a break in the barrier, and their what we call epidermal water loss capacity is much higher. So the first thing we do is apply products like EGCG on their skin, which is a green tea based product, and this is a clinical product that we use in our practice, and what it does is soothes and calms the redness and inflammation in the skin. It's an amazing product. It has nothing that can possibly harm the skin. There's no harmful preservatives, which you have to be very careful with rosacea patients, is that you don't put anything on the skin that has any harsh chemicals and parabens and things of that nature. So and it's very difficult because over-the-counter products typically have a lot of crap in them. They have a lot of ingredients that are harmful. All our skin and hair products typically have a lot of chemicals that doesn't make sense for our skin and bodies. Green tea is the first thing. We put EGCG on their skin, and then we layer it. There's a wonderful product in our practice called Vital Essence that has pure hyaluronic acid in it, which is an amazing moisture to the skin. It hydrates it's like a sponge that hydrates 300 times more capacity than just water itself applied to the skin. And it's very, what we call hygroscopic, so it holds water. So that's applied to the skin. Hyaluronic acid has aloe in it, and then it has vitamin C and E in it. And these ingredients, as soon as these people put the green tea and the Vital Essence on the skin, they literally go, the skin just suddenly just brightens up. It's no longer irritated. It's no longer, screaming at you. And you can literally, in front of your eyes, watch the skin turn around that quickly. So it's amazing when you put the right ingredients, the right products, and gives the skin what it's been craving and needing. Right away the skin responds in a beautiful way. Oftentimes when they first come into the practice, what I'll do is because my heart goes out to them, the skin is so irritated and so dry and screaming essentially, and they've been on all kinds of topical antibiotics and nothing, and all kinds of different other things, and nothing's really working for them. And then what I do is have one of my medical assistants, estheticians, put them under what I call loving lights, LED lights. So we put them under yellow and red lights, and that further calms the skin and tissue. Put them under for about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. LED lights are very beneficial to soothe and calm the skin right away. So these patients walk out of my practice with already feeling so much better. We don't wait to provide results and clinical solutions for our patients. So that's, and then we can talk further about some of the other things we do for cure, but at least that's something we can do right away for their skins. And I will take my patients off of antibiotics within a week, because with the modalities that we have, our patients don't need to be on these antibiotics for any long term. Let's take a look at the second condition. Okay, here's a person, you can see slightly different, has a lot of pustules and irritation in her skin. That skin has been screaming. She's been on certain antibiotics and whatever topicals that she's using hasn't worked too well for her. This is the condition where typically you're looking at Demodex mites in the skin that are further causing inflammation and pustular activity within the tissue. So again, very irritated skin. People are very frustrated. They've been on antibiotics and things that really haven't provided long-term solutions, and it's been progressive over time for these patients. I will treat this slightly differently, because we have to address not only the irritation and inflammation in the skin, but the glandular hyperactivity that's going on, and the Demodex mites, the infection essentially that's in the skin, and again can be treated and have a cure for it through laser treatments. And we'll talk about what is possible in terms of lasers and integrated approaches that we use for rosacea within our practice. That is really unique, and I'm so excited to share this information with you, because people believe that there isn't a cure for these conditions, and I beg to differ. I've been doing this now for 14 years, and I've developed some amazing innovative solutions to long-term solutions for these patients, and have a long history of cure, because I've been doing it for such a long time, and it's exciting to be able to share all of my innovations in science for you. This truly is the future of what I call issues in the tissues, an integrated approach to both Eastern and Western modalities to bring solutions and long-term cures for these patients that are so frustrated with their skin, because it is your face. This is what you're putting out to the world. So we want a solution for that. The third one that I'm going to talk about is this is what W.C. Fields actually had, was his bulbous nose and rhinophymatous rosacea hair. And this condition, I don't even know whether it needs to be in the same category as the other one. This is a very, very different, condition. The skin is much, much thicker. It's hyperplastic. It's hypersebaceous. It's very thick, and it tends to have a lot of glandular activity, and the nose actually gets bigger over time with this. And you can have a lot of scarring, as well as a lot of deep cystic type of acneiform type of condition going on. And again, we'll talk about solutions for rhinophymatous rosacea as well, which I don't even think belongs in the rosacea category. I think it has a totally different delineation in this. So we'll be back with some interesting solutions for all of these conditions.
Here, we have an attractive orange and a distinguished apple. The two similar, but opposites. Theory, a wingman is needed, or perhaps a wing lemon. A friend to the orange and an acquaintance to the apple, the lemon brings the two opposites together. See, with a little fresh thinking, the universe can be surprisingly smooth.
When we make Beyond Natural dry dog and cat foods, we start with real meat as the first ingredient. We leave out corn, wheat, and soy. And we own where our dry food is made. 100%. Can other brands say all that? For nutrition you can trust and your pet will enjoy. Does your food go beyond? Learn more at purinabeyond.com.
Fitzpatrick's. Deli dine for breakfast and lunch. And at night, gourmet dine for dinner with entrees and specialty sandwiches including certified black Angus cuts of beef and wild-caught seafood, plus catering options for specialty events. Since 1989, Fitzpatrick's, your hometown place with upscale tastes.
Apple Ridge is about freedom. Apple Ridge is about community. Apple Ridge is about home. Apple Ridge, everything you want, more than you expect. Welcome to your new neighborhood. Apple Ridge Senior Living. Enjoy a maintenance-free, affordable luxury lifestyle today. Visit appleridgeseniorliving.com and find out more about the Apple Ridge experience.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sidney Cohen. I'm a psychologist in New Jersey. I'm the host of a show called Heading in the Right Direction, which will be appearing on internet TV station Radio Vision Network. It's a show that's going to cover a wide range of psychological subjects. I think you'll be very interested in the subjects. I'm also going to have the opportunity to send me emails, ask me some questions. I'll answer questions, and I very much look forward to you tuning in. I'm very excited to do this. Thank you.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
So welcome back. See all of these amazing, well, I think they're amazing, lasers behind me. There's a reason why I have a whole armamentarium of highly sophisticated laser technologies in my practice. Those are my tools that I use and have been using now for about 14 years. The innovations in science in this field is tremendous. It has such amazing potential for all kinds of conditions, all kinds of what I call issues in the tissues. And was so excited by this technology 14 years ago when I came across that. And initially I'd wanted to treat, things like acne and rosacea and vascular lesions, and then expanded my whole horizon into the whole cosmetic and aesthetics and sun damage arena as well. But today we're going to be, talking about how these new scientific technological advances in combination with our innovative approaches, and we've come up with protocols and all kinds of combination approaches, what I call innovative solutions to every single issue in the tissue that my patients come in with. A lot of patients come in with what we call hopeless cases of rosacea, advanced cases that they've gone to major centers, to all kinds of people in the academic, and still not been able to find true long-term cures for this disease. However, in our practice, it's great. The buck stops with us. There's hope for every single condition in an integrated way. So that feels really good to be able to offer solutions that nobody else can, and the buck stops with me. All right, if I can't do it, then you really are, up what's creek. So Anyway, so let's talk about what we do uniquely and differently that actually provides solutions for our patients for rosacea. So the first condition we'll call sandpaperish, fine, irritated type of thin skin rosacea. These people also burn very easily, and by the time they come to us, they also have skins that are aging, have sun damage on top of their existing rosacea. Most patients are coming to me in their 40s and 50s. And pretty frustrated at that point. So the first thing I do actually, we talked about, skincare, making sure they're on balanced skincare, well hydrated, soothing and calming agents such as EGCG. We even add vitamin C as well. We find that to be helpful. And then obviously great sunblock as well to make sure they're not further exacerbating the condition in the sun. Through excessive sun exposure or getting burnt in any way. And we use physical blocks versus chemical blocks such as Elta MD to support their skincare at home. But you do have to use your products. Oftentimes when they first come in, I have them use it twice a day. And then once their skin is healthier, then we can go down to once a day as far as the green tea. But obviously hydration and hyaluronic acid moisturizers twice a day for these patients. The next thing I do and I recommend is a vascular laser treatment. There's a variety of different vascular lasers. The standard of care in the past has been the pulse dye laser, the V-beam laser. I had this in my practice for about 11, 12 years, for a very long time. It was the best laser out there for vascular conditions such as rosacea and spider veins on the face. Neck area is also good for pore wine stains, other vascular conditions. So typically what I would do is, if it was a mild case, then we could just do a series of pulse dye laser treatments. I remember having this child once, had super sensitive skin, and as all kids do, his dad actually had a farm and loved to ride the tractor trailer, and so it was really challenging in the summer months because he'd be great over the winter months. We'd get him all tucked away with a series of V-beam treatments, but over the summer he often got exposed to a lot of sun, and he'd take a little bit of a setback with his skin condition, and we'd have to sort of readdress it when it came back. Kids aren't always great with using their hats and putting on sunblock, and it can be challenging because if you do actually follow direction, then you're less likely to have it come back for you. The other thing I did actually for better long-term solutions, even on this kid, was a treatment called photodynamic therapy. And the reason I use photodynamic therapy a lot in my practice is because it actually regenerates your skin. It brings you new healthy skin that you did not have before. We're not just addressing the inflammation, we're actually addressing creating new healthy, thicker skin for you that now is resilient, and so is not going downhill as it was previously. So we will often, when it's in more advanced cases, do photodynamic, where we're applying Levulan to the skin and then activating it with a vascular laser such as a V-beam laser, and we can do that both for papulopustular acne, rosacea, as well as for rhinophymatous rosacea is the photodynamic. And what that does is actually alter the glands. It actually shrinks those down, normalizes them. We address the Demodex mites, we address the sebaceous hyperplasia with rhinophymatous rosacea patients, and sometimes those, if the more advanced cases, may need a couple, 2 to 3 series of photodynamic therapy for long-term cure for these patients. And it's really exciting to be able to see these patients where they have lost hope for so many years here and suffering, and to be able to see them turn around and then be able to maintain very easily with skincare and with LED lights ongoing to support their skin health. So We'll be right back and we'll talk a little bit more about some of my individual cases that I have with rosacea, all those success stories, I call them.
In a world where bankers have lost all interest, where robots and fat cats rule our fortunes, one woman will stand up and strive to do the impossible. Be treated like a person. Friends and neighbors will join her quest. Ordinary people will band together against the forces of corporate greed. And together they will form Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, already in a neighborhood near you.
Imagine the finest hand-selected USDA prime steak you'll ever have. The freshest line-caught seafood, our Wine Spectator award-winning wine list, and soul-satisfying desserts. Bring that together with the perfect date, the winning business deal, a memorable family celebration. Welcome to Rod's Steak and Seafood Grill in nearby Morristown, New Jersey. Bring your appetite and feed your passion.
Your credit score is yours, and at Experian Credit Expert, we want to help you really use it. With access to helpful Experian experts over the phone and online, we can help you use it to get a better idea of what info the banks have on you. Use it to get more choice of mortgages. Use it to make your money go further. Take the next step to improving your financial future with your free 30-day trial at Experian.co.uk.
Here at Freppy's Tex-Mex, you can definitely taste the freshness in our food. You should definitely come to Freppy's because it's a great place. You can bring your family, very kid-friendly. All my servers are amazing, friendly people. Everyone here is just happy to serve, and I think it shows. The thing that sets us apart is the quality and freshness of our food. And I think once you try it, you'd be coming back. I'm Joe DeSario, co-owner of Freppy's Tex-Mex in Plainfield, New Jersey.
So we're back. We're going to talk about a couple more cases that I have on rosacea that were deemed hopeless. So I had this gentleman come in, and he was probably in his 40s or so. He worked with air conditioning and heating. I had a whole wonderful business there. And he came in, and his face was so inflamed. It was like literally you couldn't even touch his face. It was purple, and it just hurt all the time. He had severe edema as a result of this, what we call rhinophymatous, rosacea that he had. And it was really affecting his quality of life. And it was interesting, how advanced it was actually. And with him, what we did again was a series of vascular lesions, the V-beam laser that calmed that skin down. We also now have the Palomar G laser handpiece here, which has been compared with the V-beam and has as much power, if not more so, to address vascular lesions and chronic inflammatory conditions such as rosacea. And what's great about this this gentleman was that he had such a sensitive skin that within it actually did take about 3 treatments for him to have, where even though he started seeing symptom relief the very first treatment, within 3 treatments though, however, he was no longer purple. The edema had gone down. The redness had gone down remarkably, and we were able to get him off any topicals and medications that he'd been on that really weren't doing enough for this condition. And then after that, once his skin was a lot calmer, we were able to do the photodynamic therapy for a better long-term solution to his rhinophymatous inflammatory rosacea. One thing we do different in our practice, and that's unique, is making sure our patients really start to respect their bodies. And there's a great book by David Wolf, Eating for Beauty, to 87% of Americans are malnourished, actually, are nutritionally deficient in key minerals and ingredients needed for regeneration, for health, for every aspect of our bodies, not just our skin. So we always get our patients on a healthy nutritional, what we call smart choices, life-enhancing foods, things that truly promote health. And then certain supplements such as krill oil by Dr. Mercola, astaxanthin, which is very powerful as an antioxidant, again by Dr. Mercola, because I can trust his products, whole nutrition multivitamin, as well as getting these people doing things like smoothies and berry smoothies, especially cherries, all those kinds of things. So nutritional integrated approaches, it's so very important. Sleep, 8 hours on a regular basis, very helpful too. So anyway, we'll talk. Thank you for listening in on our rosacea. There's a lot more I could be talking about. It's an exciting time with all these amazing solutions that we have. We hope to see you soon. I hope to give you some solutions, no matter what issue in the tissue that you're suffering with. This is Dr. Nadia Chaudhry at Hope Integrative Health.